since the last time you were on, um, there's been a major shift with your development, not just in your physicality, but also your business. But what's one major change or realization you've had in your approach to fitness and coaching?
Oh my God. It's been a phenomenal, I think it's about a year since we talked together.
Yeah, it's a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Many things have changed, right? Like my approach to fitness remained the same. My knowledge evolved like greatly for real. So the thing that I could say that really shift in my perspective is I'm not only coaching fitness anymore, I'm coaching the overall approach of it. So I'm starting like I got those three pillars I'm working on with like my clients. I start with like the nutrition, just to bypass their belief on nutrition because it's really important. Nutrition it's you can do miracles once you start shifting your nutrition. So that changed a lot. My approach to nutrition is really thorough now. And after that, we set ourselves to work it out the proper way and the way that they love. This is really important, the way that they love. And then after that, once they dialed in on those two, I'm starting to make a change about their mindset. And this is what changed really over the last year with my client, my coaching after all.
Yeah. And for those people that don't know, Max, you predominantly work with fathers. But can you share a little bit about that journey? What led you to become an online fitness coach, but predominantly for fathers? We did touch on this, I think, last podcast, but for those people that don't know, why fathers?
Well, like I said in the last podcast, I'm really passionate about helping out overall. And when I realized that I could help out with my knowledge, I seen too many fathers basically struggling a lot. But not just being a father, but being a man around the house and taking place and taking charge as the man of the house. Not in a misogynistic way, but just being the man of the house. And it led me to believe that I can help out men in that situation. And I say that a lot throughout my Instagram, but 85% of the men in North America right now are either fat, obese, or depressed. And sometimes all three of them. All right. There's one way you can change that, and it's with proper nutrition, working out, and shifting your mindset. My
Mm.
mindset is a word that is like overused, but it is what it is. Your spiritual aspect of life, which is your mindset. If you shift that with your nutrition, your workout, you can literally make miracles and shift your entire life. So this is what I preach. This is why I help fathers, because down the line, what's going to happen is they're going to share what I'm sharing to them. They're going to share with their family, and this have a big ripple effect down the line. So I'm helping out fathers to make sure that everybody around them benefits from that.
And you're a fantastic spokesperson, a fantastic role model for a lot of fathers out there, but not only fathers in general. Just before we shot this, we were talking about masculinity. We were talking about the idea of men needing proper role models. But what would you say would be the biggest obstacles fathers face when they prioritize their health and fitness? And how do you help them overcome that?
Well, usually after their program, there's that egotistic part, like they achieve something big and they think that they're done. So they arrived somewhere, right?
Mm.
But it's my job to let them remember that it's a journey that never ends. You have to keep that in mind. So this was a bit of a problem. And this is why I shift a lot on the spiritual aspect. So this is why I put it at last, because I used to do it at first. You need to shift your mindset in order to have proper nutrition, great workout, and then you're going to be golden for after that working on yourself, so on and so forth. But I shifted the spiritual aspect, put it at the end to make sure that the egotistic part, because let's face it, a man that's been overweight and unhealthy and with low energy for so many years, starting to have full of energy, looking good in the mirror, finally fitting shirts fitting well on them, like their energy shifts, their energy change. All right. And you can feel that. And I was like, you don't have to brag about it. You did something like like unbelievable what you did. You achieved something for you, but let's be clear, right? Everybody does it every day around the world. You're not the only one who did it. All right. So just remember that your journey is not finished yet. You still got a lot to learn. You still get to keep on going. This has only been 100 days. Let's make it a year first before you start bragging about how good you are. All right. Let's
Mm.
put that in perspective a little. Right. And remember that when I'm talking to my client, remember that I've held your hand for 100 days. Now you're going to be on your own. I'm going to be there. I'm still there. There's a group. I got my group, the channel that I'm working with the guys, helping them if they I got any question. Obviously, there's like that connection that we were talking about, like having a group of guys really healthy for men in general. And I say I'm going to always be there for you guys. But remember, from now on, you're on your own. So you're going to have to be accountable for your own self. Waking up early in the morning, still doing counting your macro because you still got some weight to lose in order to achieve the ultimate goal that we talked about. So that aspect has changed a lot in my coaching.
Yeah, and you mentioned mindset too, Max. What role does mindset play in coaching dads, in particular, because dads are under the pump. Not only they're working, they're coming home from their job. They've obviously got to do stuff around the house. You know, what role does mindset play, you know, with coaching a lot of these dads?
Well, the aspect of mindset, like I say, it's overuse of a word, but you have to say it like it is. But I like to use the word spiritual, right? It's within the brain. Okay. So yes, as fathers, we got things to do. But this is why I'm big time early morning rides and going to bed early. So the problem most men face right now is time management. All right. This is a big fucking issue. Like, I think if I recall it right, the average man, 35, 45, spend up to 6 hours on his phone, right? Even though if it's like it's 6 hours on the phone, all right, there's some part of this that it's work, emails, and phone calls and texting back and forth with the boys or for his job. But there is a 2.5 hours of that time that's either on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. So you get that 2 hours during the day, not all in one block, but throughout the day, you're on your social media. And all those block of times, this is where you fuck your mindset. This is where you screw up because you're digesting cheap, cheap information most of the time for like one great reel or video that you're watching. You're going to watch 50 stupid, whatever it is you can find on social media. So this is triggering your dopamine input because you using that as a dopamine hit instead of using what you should use, like maybe have your journal handy and writing down something when you got 15 minutes on your own, or maybe looking at your plan for tonight for your workout, or thinking about what you're going to eat the rest of the week. Maybe all those little shifts happen. So mindset is, yes, through the mind, but the spiritual aspect, I think it's more a better way to put it out there. Just be spiritual about your journey. Be
Yeah.
mindful instead of building a mindset.
Yes. Yeah, Max, we've just implemented a law over here in Australia to ban anybody under the age of 16, no social media. This law has just been passed, I think, in Queensland, where I'm from, and it raises a lot of concerns on not only what our young generation are watching and being prone to watching a lot of interesting topics, but at the same time, it's a little bit like an alcoholic. You know, the reason why we take the alcohol out of the fucking kitchen is because the alcoholic is going to drink that. And then we know what happens when an alcoholic drinks alcohol. Too much of anything's bad for you, but I think in the right amount of dosage, it's okay. But what do you think about social media on this younger generation? You know, what it's doing to their dopamine. And I mean, you mentioned too that a lot of fathers out there, you know, they're constantly scrolling on social media. I can't imagine what it's doing to our younger generation. What do you think of that?
Well, you mentioned the analogy of the alcoholic. You get rid of the alcohol, but you have to think in that perspective. An alcoholic drink and the alcohol is not the problem for him. It's the solution to something. You see where I'm going? So Why do the younger generation is always on their phone? Because it's a solution for them right now. They're bored as fuck because they didn't learn how to not get bored by themselves. Therefore, they're using this to get on board. But the thing is, you need to get bored. You need to learn how to just do nothing. I'm not talking about being a Zen Buddhist, meditating and contemplating life, or watching a butterfly sits on a flower and thinking that it's such a beautiful. No, I'm not going there. Kids need to be bored. And right now they're not able to because they're too much stimulation on screen. It was the same thing with books when they first came out. People spent hours and hours reading books when that's what all they had. And then came the radio and the younger generation listened. There was like those radio series. I don't know if you knew about that.
Yeah.
So there was the detective every time of the day, every day there was a radio series where people started to listen to that. Same thing came with the TV. I'm a TV generation. I was never missing a beat every Sunday morning. I was sitting in front of the TV for 2 hours. And then come the screens, the iPad and the iPhone and the phone and whatever, TikTok. Now the information is going so fast that you don't have time to get bored because
Yeah.
we're not waiting out. They're not waiting on Sunday morning to watch their cartoons. They can have
Yes.
whatever fuck cartoons they want in the entire world, translated in their own language. All right. So I think that what it does right now, we have as parents the obligation to teach our kids to use it as a tool. The algorithm is not the problem. It's the way we're using it that is. As soon as you put something in the search bar or you click like on a video and it's not something meaningful, useful, or knowledgeable, you're fucked. You turn your phone as something that's killing your brain slowly. So that's what I'm teaching my daughter. She's not on social media, by the way, but she watched YouTube's, and that's what I told her. Every time you click like on a video and every time you're searching a video, know this. The algorithm of your account is going to propose you all these type of video, right? Whether you like it or not, this is all what's going to appear. And by default, what you're going to do, because we are kind of the human being is lazy. So we're going to go with less path of resistance. And we're going to click on the one that, meh, looks kind of cool, but I don't really like it, but I'm going to click it anyway. So this is what it does to actually our younger generation. Just
Yeah.
make them lazy and not being able to get bored or to create something of their own. But let's not put them all on the same basket. Some use it as tools. Some younger person use it as a tool. They're gonna find some art and then they're gonna recreate art. They're gonna learn stuff from it. But
Yeah.
obviously, it is not the majority of people using
Yeah,
it.
you touched on some interesting points there too, Max. Gone are the days where you could go to the video store and rent a movie. You can watch it at home. You can log online, go on Netflix. It's right there. Everything is just so instantaneous. If you want food, if you want Uber Eats, I'm not too sure how it is in Canada, but we in
The
Australia, we
same. It's
Uber
the
Eats,
same.
yeah,
Gonna have whatever the fuck I want on my door in the next 20 minutes.
and they'll
Whatever I want.
yeah, and they'll drive it to you. You don't even have to fucking get up off your couch. And I remember my mum, Max, she would say, "You guys need to come inside." My brother and I, you guys need to come inside when the street lights are on. We'd always be outside playing and doing things. But it's interesting, like with cheap dopamine, but then also there's that fine line because you do hear about kids. Like I remember a story where a kid has now retired his parents because he's a professional video gamer. So this kid makes bank. Like he's one of the top video game players in the world, but he's retired both his parents. They actually pulled him out of school to pursue full-time gaming. And some of the prize money that a lot of these top elite gamers make,
Insane.
it's
Insane.
insane. So there is that part of where social media is okay. Too much social media is okay, not okay. But with your program, Max, I want you to talk a little bit about how you can raise dopamine and what we can do to raise it naturally, because you're advocate of the ice bath. Can
Mhm.
you break down ways that, especially in particular, not just fathers, ways that people can actually get a spike in dopamine through doing activities like this?
Well, it's basically the dopamine is like they called the reward hormone. Yeah. So you need to do something that you feel like it's a reward. All right. But how do you translate that into action? Okay. Well, you do something that kind of sucks. Not too bad, but that's going to make you feel proud. All right. So you need to embrace like that book, Embrace the Suck. All right. Really great book, by the way. It tells you to do something that suck every day. David Goggins, same thing. Timex next time. All right. There's plenty of example like that. But what if you just flirt with discomfort in the beginning and you kind of start enjoying it? Right? You don't have to go around 10 fucking miles and you to feel rewarded, to be proud of yourself. I remember the first time I went for a run, one click, out of breath, legs burning, fucking proud though. And this is how it started. I decided, like I'm doing with the fathers right now, small is way better with consistency than big and ending up burning yourself out. So the reward, the dopamine hit comes after the action.
Yeah.
Why do we make the action so fucking huge? Doesn't need to be huge. An ice bath, a cold plunge, cold water immersion takes about a minute to 3 minutes, right? You're shivering. You don't want to be there. I guarantee you, I don't want to be in that. I like to go in it because I know I ripped the finish out of it. But after a minute, I don't want to be in that fucking tub. I want to get out. All right. My body, every part of my body's saying, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of there. Right. After time and time again, I'm starting to learn to control my breath. And there's lots of benefits out of this. We talked about that. But afterwards, reheating my body, dopamine hit. I'm proud of myself. I stayed that 10-second longer. Same thing with the workouts. I don't want to always go work out. I don't want to always go pushing legs. I don't want to always do push-ups. So what's going to happen? I got a structured program that gives me just enough to keep my body really healthy and good looking and strong, but not too much so that it burns the fuck out of me because I got shit to do around the house. So doing small is actually way better than doing big. I'm at certain age. I'm turning 43 next February, and lots of fathers, actually all the fathers that I've coached are older than me, and this is exactly what I said to them. You don't have to go big, all right? 3 sets of exercise with an ab finisher is going to be a fucking reward for you doing that for at least a month. You're going to feel amazing. So there's that
Yeah.
dopamine hit. So you spike the dopamine by little rewards, stacking some wins, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it's kind of like compounding interest, isn't it, Max? It's like a snowball effect. You touched on some interesting points. The fact that majority of the time we don't feel like doing a rigorous workout. Like if I'm in the gym and I've got 10 sets of 10 for squats, back squats with short rests, 30 seconds. I'm huffing and puffing. It's a heavy weight. My body just does not want to be there. I do not want to be there. Like it's grueling. I feel lethargic. I almost feel like vomiting and throwing up. But that spike in dopamine that you get, that little hit of dopamine when you finish that workout and you say, fuck, I've just finished a grueling workout. And if you do that consistently over a prolonged period of time, and I heard Jimmy Carr said this, he said, hard choices now, easy life later. And
Exactly.
that was resonating to me. That really did resonate with me. But how can fathers do a step-by-step process to initially start their weight training program or doing the things that they need to do on a daily basis? How can they start doing the things where it doesn't overwhelm them? What are the steps? What are the steps that you would suggest to get from someone from point A to point B doing the things they're supposed to be doing every day?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Like, let's take like I called it average Bob, 5'9", 220. All right, 45 years old, beautiful wife. Usually, they always have a beautiful wife. All right,
Yeah.
great job. Everybody love him, but he doesn't like himself that much, right? He's not that bad. He's not bad good look, not bad looking, and you just want to change something, but he doesn't know how. Where the fuck do we start? It all starts at first with the nutrition. For instance, in my program, what I do, it's called week zero. I'm not putting you under the fire. Week one, start tomorrow, training at the gym. There's week zero. In that moment that you're gonna really realize what you need to do is unclog and unclutter the unessential you have in your house. And it always start with pantry and fridge. There's so many stuff you have in your house that you probably never going to eat again after 100 days working with me, because you realize that you don't need that for having a healthy and sustain a healthy way of life. So this is step one. Unclutter your house. Make sure that everything is placed and prepared for your objective. This is just mandatory thing you have to do. So unclutter and prepare yourself for your nutrition. Now, step two is you have to learn nutrition. What does your body need? What does your body need? I'm asking that to everybody I know right now because I'm big time talking about nutrition all the time because it fixes pretty much every symptoms you have except cancer. And some people claim that it does fix cancer. So, and nobody knows that they need to at least 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. They don't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
so true.
And they don't know that fat is actually good for your testosterone level, your hormone, your brain, your cells. What? Fat is good? Since when? Since the dawn of time. And carbs are not the enemy, brother. This is not what's keeping you fat. It's the amount you have during the day,
Yeah.
contrary to the exercise you do. And so I'm getting overwhelmed right now. I like that stuff a lot, right? So yeah. So step one, you unclutter your place. Step two, learn about the basic of nutrition. And step three, what is it you like to do as a workout? Now this is mandatory because I can put you in the gym, and if you hate it, you're gonna hate it for a long fucking time. All right. Because I got a little anecdote right there. Somebody came to me and Max, I have a problem. I want to lose some weight. I want to get jacked. You look fucking good. I'm not far from you. And I want to go to the gym, but I don't like to go to the gym. What do I do? Keep going to the gym, I guess, but you don't like it. Well, that's the problem. I don't like it. Well, stop going to the gym. Find something else. All right. But you will not have the same result though, because you have to love what you do. If you're not loving going to the gym, if you don't love pushing the weight, if you don't love the exercise you're doing, well, the intention behind it is a major factor of the result. So you're not going to have the best result. So step number three, you have to choose a workout that you will love. It could be running. It could be swimming, bike, yoga, fucking Pilates. I don't fucking care what you like. Just find something that you like and do it. And once all those three steps are pretty much in concrete and you have them fixed, then we turn to the spiritual mindset game and mindfulness and intention behind every reaction to make sure that you sustain what you've just learned in the 100 days to keep going towards more meaningful and fulfilled life.
Yeah. And what is a typical power morning routine? So for a slothful dad that's trying to get into the gym, trying to make something of himself, lose a couple of extra pounds, what's a power routine? Like, does someone need to get up at 2 in the morning? Do they need to carry heavy logs and go chop a tree down? Like, how do you start small? What are some of the things that you would recommend for a power morning routine?
Yeah, starting small is really the core of everybody who really wants to change. If you want a quick fix, a quick diet, it can happen. But starting small, you point that out really, like it's good to say that. So starting small is to start to own your morning. All right. And how do you do that? It's just how do the fuck do I own my morning? Well, you don't snooze. No, never. You never snooze at all. You own your morning by waking up at the time that you say you wake up. All right. And once you get that dialed in, because there's a lot of men out of shape or depressed, or whatever, that do wake up when their alarm clocks goes on. All right. They don't snooze. They got to go to work. Now the trick is you got to wake up a bit before. So you're going to take that 15 minutes for you, just 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, what you're going to do, there's many things that a man can do. The first one could be a quick 5 meditation. It could be journaling, just writing three gratitudes and set one intention to throughout the day that you're gonna keep and focus on throughout the day. So you start really small, just like you say. So you take the first 15 minutes of you waking up for you, not rushing to the coffee machine, brushing your teeth, putting on putting on your tie and slipping your shoes and taking a briefcase, and it's all chaotic. You wanna you want to bring down the chaotic way of waking up. You want to own your morning. This is what owning your morning means. You are in charge of your morning from now on. So start small, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour. And you build on that. You build your own routine. It took me years to have the routine that I have as of today. And I started exactly like that. A half an hour before I was supposed to get up, I was getting up and I was just yawning, not knowing really what to do. And I start scribbling in my journal and just throwing ideas in my journal and three gratitudes. That's how I started, like 11 years ago, maybe. I elevate my standards throughout the years because I got different objective now, and I'm working out differently than I was 11 years ago, and stuff just change over time. But this is what owning your morning means. Actually, it's you are in control from the moment you wake up to the moment you have to leave your house or for the rest of the day. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's consciously and intentively taking the actions, and as small as it might be, whether it's getting up that 15 minutes earlier, can have monumental fucking results. You explain that perfectly, Max, with a power morning routine and the idea of whether it be journaling or a 5-minute meditation, and then it's taken you, as you just said, 11 years to build a foundation and work your way from the ground up. But what about the evening? What are some of the things that I think people need to stop doing that's really sabotaging their whole fitness journey, but also even their business?
Well, it's pretty much lack of structure and coming home. Like, you know, those, I don't, it's called a girouette in French. You know, it's pointing the winds. It goes with the winds. It's on the
Yeah.
top of farms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It calls. People came back home with no ideas of what they have to do. They know they have to cook dinner or at least have something to eat. Kids, got to take care of kids. How, when, war, will she? And, oh, well, I have to spend time with the wife. And what usually happen, and I'm speaking to that with a lot of guys, and especially in my surroundings, I tend to try to help as much people as I can. And I say, you have no fucking idea of what you're going to do as at the moment you get out of that car, getting at home. And this is why it's chaotic as fuck. So you end up being frustrated because you don't have a plan and you didn't know what, again, nutrition. You didn't know what to have for dinner because you didn't plan your nutrition. All right. I call it that nutrition, but you can just call planning your fucking meals because you're an adult. All right. Make sure you have something in the fridge ready to cook when you arrive from work. That's pretty simple if you ask me. But so they end up ordering something. Kids are yelling. They're eating crap. So they feel like shit going to bed. They don't want to go to bed. It's all domino effect, you know? So the thing you need to understand is writing down in the morning is what brings me up to the evening. My structure, my intention, right? So owning your morning, throughout the day, you do your thing, you do your work, making sure your business or your boss or whatever you're doing in life is going good. You're happy about it. And coming home, you need to structure your evening the same way you structured your morning if you want to own your evening as well. So make sure you know what you're going to do. Don't just come home knowing what's going to happen in your fucking house. You're the man of the house. You should know what's going to happen this evening. You shouldn't be aware of where your children at about their school, homework wise, activity wise. You should know their roundabout. You should know everything that's happening in your house. I know fathers that know everything that would happen in the NHL and the NFL, but don't know the fucking uh, color of the eyes of their kids, sort of say. So you should know. So this way, if you get structured plan about what you want to do in the evening, there's no fucking problem there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also showing up for yourself. It's putting you accountable. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of people forget to put themselves first. If we use that whole plane analogy, when the plane goes down, you put your own oxygen mask on before you help other people. Do you
So
feel that a lot of dads are forgetting that? They're showing up for everybody else, but they're not showing up for themselves.
well, yes, yes. And I was believing that a year ago, but the more and more I talk to fathers, and the more I realize that they're thinking about their self, but in the wrong way. All right. So that phrase came out a lot on social media a few years and last year as I saw it pop off, and people interpret it and they misunderstood it. All right. So now they say, I got to take care of myself, but they're taking care of their self just by being by their self. They're not taking care of their self. So they're letting go of their family, actually. So this is like not a crisis. I won't go there, but this is a subject that I had recently with a guy. And he said, yeah, I took time for me this evening. And I said, fuck it. And I watch a movie. I said, you got that all wrong, brother. This is not taking time for yourself. This is sabotaging your family, and this is sabotaging your marriage, and this is sabotaging your kids and everything around you. This is not taking time for you at all. I know that you might think you need rest, and watching TV is not rest. It's entertainment. So you're not having rest there. You're getting entertained. It's not the fucking same thing. Watching, I need rest. I'm going to watch my phone for about 20 minutes. You're not resting. You're entertaining yourself. So everything that's been put out, I'm going to take a beer. I'm going to relax. You're not relaxing when you're having a beer. Again, you're entertaining yourself. By my definition, you're sabotaging your progress if you're working out, or you're basically poisoning yourself if you don't train. So yes and no to that question you asked me.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a valid point too. Yeah, what does it mean to show up to yourself? Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you're sitting on the couch watching a movie, drinking a beer, that's not fucking helping you. It's not helping your family either. I think the point that I was getting at, showing up for yourself, meaning that the byproduct, everyone else benefits from it. Like a better you benefits everybody else. You have
Hmm.
so much more to give. If you look like shit, or you're not doing the daily things that you're supposed to do, you're not going to feel motivated. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel lethargic. I think showing up for yourself, it means doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, regardless of how you feel. I remember Jay said this. He said, fuck how you feel. And that always stuck with me. Fuck how you feel, regardless of how you feel, get it done. And,
Yeah.
when you were talking about dopamine and what it does to the brain, doing difficult things has a profound and monumental effect on your day to day. You just feel so much better as little as it is. If it's a 5 minute cold shower, doing it it sucks. It's shit. But once you get out of there, then it has this positive effects. Um, but I think, yeah, showing up for yourself, it's, as you said, it's eating healthy, nutritious breakfast. It's getting good sleep. It's journaling, meditation, setting that alarm that little bit earlier. How can dads sort of implement this? Because I think what a lot of people think is, as you suggested, showing up for yourself. They might think of, yeah, as you said, watching a movie, drinking a beer. But when we're talking about juggling a family and we're juggling a business, uh, how would you explain that to a man? How would you explain that to a man without him feeling guilty? Showing up for yourself. What does that mean to you?
Well, personally, right now is something I'm battling with. I think we talked about that a year ago. You will never find balance if you're looking for extremes. Okay. And as of now, what I'm doing is I'm working my 9 to 5 in the construction. So it's not 9 to 5, it's 6 to 3. And after that, I'm coming back home. And if I didn't have time to work out in the morning because I got to go early to work, well, I'm going to work out as soon as I come back. Then family, then after that, it's business. So sometimes I have to skip times with my family in order to make my business being profitable for me and elevate also to a certain point where I want it to be. All right. So balance is not an option in terms of that. But for the mere mortal, the common man who have just a job or have a business, but doesn't take all of his day, like really, I got like 16, 17 hour days. I don't think it is really healthy, but I've managed because I have a lot of knowledge on the way of staying healthy. But for the mere mortal, you have to understand this. What makes you happy? What do you love to do? And what makes you happy? And if you arrive home with being happy and doing what you love, it's going to resonate. It's going to echo. The vibration around you is just going to eliminate the house. Right. But on the other hand, if what you're doing is not beneficial for you, the aura that you're going to have entering the house is going to be shit. You're going to look like shit and you're going to feel like shit. And everybody around you is going to be like shit. So just like you say, taking care of yourself, taking time for you the proper way, of course, it's beneficial for everybody around. All right. So yes, if you're working 10 hours a day and you have to go to the gym afterwards to let it out, take care of your body, make you stronger, get that clean dopamine hit, when you're gonna cross that door, everybody's gonna be happy to see you and you are going to be happy too. That has a fucking powerful impact on a house. Let me tell you that. Whenever I'm feeling down, the house feeling down just a little bit more. Whenever I'm happy, the house is feeling happy. And there's no fucking doubt about this. The father is the lighthouse of his home. And if the light is dim, let me tell you, it's going to get dark as fuck in that house.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. You've worked with a lot of dads, Max, and you've had a lot of success stories. Is there any particular story that stands out to you?
Yeah, there's that one dude, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad he allowed me to talk about it on social. That one man, his name is GF, by the way, 6'5".
Six.
First time I
Wow.
6'5", and I met him in person. Actually, he went to he was repairing my AC,
Yep.
yeah, and so 6'5", 290 fucking pounds, right? A monster of a man, and he looked depressed as fuck. But I didn't say that to him, obviously, but that he saw me happy as fuck. And I don't know what triggers in him, but he asked me, how the fuck are you so happy today? Why the fuck are you so happy today? All right. I say, I don't know. I'm getting a new AC. I'm fucking happy about it. I don't know. And so just to make sure that everybody understand that part. All right. So I said, why are you not, and why are you asking me that? Are you not happy? So he said to me, well, not really. And then he leaned towards me and I said, well, go ahead. Talk to me, man. And from that moment on, he started to talk to me, personal stuff and everything like that. And I said, you know what? I'm looking at you and the shape and the body and the expression you have right now is not the man that you truly are. You are a fucking stud underneath all of this. Let me tell you that you are a fucking stud and you're just not where you need to be right now in life. And I never pushed my program. It was not a sales pitch. It was truly from the heart. And he said, well, do you know somebody that could help me just change my life? Just like that. And I said, well, I can surely do that. And from that moment on, we started working together. And that guy lose 50 fucking pounds in 100 days.
Wow. 50 pounds.
50 pounds, right?
Holy shit.
He went from 290 to 240, right? And this is not social junk. And I'm not flashing nothing here. This is fact. 290.8 pounds to 240.1 pounds, 100 days.
Fuck.
Imagine the work that that man put in. This is the most successful story I have about the fathers uh, that I've worked with me. And we had some regular conversation. And one morning he said, I feel like a fucking gladiator. And I respond, I told you you're a fucking stud, motherfucker. I told you you were not meant to be depressed and fat. Wait till another 9 months from now. And he's just golden. He has finished his program like 2 months ago and he's still losing weight and he's still on the roll and he's still pushing himself to a better and more energy and fulfilled life. Truly remarkable man. And my hats off to him for
That
real.
That's incredible, man. Wow. Yeah, it's interesting too, Max. There's always another version of you. There's a version of you that looks like shit. And then there's another version of you that could be, as you said, like this gladiator, this Viking kind of muscular. You're probably in a nice tailored suit. There's a version of you. Yeah, that's a fantastic success story, man. And
Oh,
how did you prioritize his eating? What were some of the steps that you implemented with his nutrition, his training program, and his lifestyle? How did you break it down for him?
well, from the get go, he said to me that he wanted to lose weight fast. And I said, it is not smart. And he said to me, you don't know what I'm capable of. Hit me hard. So I say, okay, let's go. So we went down like one day out of two was 700 calorie deficit. And those days were cardio, one day cardio, one day anaerobic cardio. And the three other days was 500 calories deficit with strength training. And on the weekends, there was walk, bike, meditation, and stretching. He went the whole 9 yards. He just pushed himself every fucking day, despite how he felt. And this is what gives results, basically. But yeah, so for an instance, he was supposed to have with his BMR, if I recall, like 2,900 cal, but 3,200 cal, something like that, and subtract 700 cal on a day. This is a major deficit. All right.
Yeah, it
So
is.
yeah, we had a close conversation back and forth to make sure he was okay, checking out his pressure, make sure his heart was good. He had to check with his doctor as well to make sure blood test, blood pressure. Actually, he went off medication. He had some medication that he took for his heart to slow down his heart because his heart was in too good shape. He was snoring. He had a machine. Now he's off medication. He's off this machine.
Oh, he had sleep apnea?
Yeah, now it's gone.
Wow. Yeah.
Now it's gone. It was all due to inflammation, due to the way of eating and drinking every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, really proud of that, man. For real. You just applied the program to the fucking T, despite you want it or not. He just went all out. And like all the fathers I've worked with, and I'm working with right now, are putting in the work, and they're just have tremendous result.
Yeah.
I really like what I'm doing for real. It just give me a sense of helping out in the world. Like, for instance, that guy, GF, I probably help him live 10, 15 more years of
Yeah.
life this earth. And he's a great fucking dude. Earth
Yeah.
deserves like him.
That's a fuck ton of weight, hey. 50 fucking pounds. That's a monumental achievement. Like, and hats off to you, man, for being so encouraging and supportive. And it's just that little bit of a kick in the ass too. You do have a very unique presence, Max. And I've known you for a good year or so now. Uh, and all the boys that I've met through the coaching program that we did a couple of years ago. Well, actually, it wouldn't be a couple of years now. I think I've known you. I think it was 2023 when I think I first met you online, and Jay and all the other boys. Do you think also there might be an opportunity to do like retreats, men's retreats? Would this be something that would appeal to you down the track? Because I always say the group that we were in is kind of like a brotherhood. And men fucking need that. They need a fucking brotherhood. And I use this sort of analogy. I talk with Gavin Hayne on the podcast, who's a martial artist. He's a third degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, a good friend of mine. And we were talking on the podcast about men needing a brotherhood. It's a little bit like the wolf pack. If a wolf
Yeah.
is by himself, he's more susceptible to predators, whereas wolves are generally in a pack. And men are a little bit like that too. They need that brotherhood. But would that be something that you would maybe implement down the track? Because I think men need that. They need a brotherhood. They need a group to keep each other accountable. And this is the whole thing with therapy. I think we're getting it wrong with men in the sense that talk therapy doesn't really cut it for men. Men need to take action. They need guidance. They need a solution, a problem. They want to solve the problem. But would that be something that would appeal to you down the track to do like some sort of men's retreats? Would that be something that you would do?
That would be that would be something I thought. Actually, this is something I thought about. It's a lot of fucking work.
Mm.
For me I've been at one already in my life. It was a retreat it was called Control PTSD. All right. It was a fucking great experience. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And I mean, I'm not sure if I would have to have other guys around with me. It's a big endeavor. All right. To make something that I would like to do the way I want to do it, it would be first epic for real. Because
Yeah, yeah,
that would be fucking fun and fucking hard and like lots of back and forth. I like to laugh a lot. Okay. I know sometimes I look fucking serious in my posts and stuff like that, but I like to joke and fuck around a lot.
yeah,
I'm a laughter and I enjoy life that much that laughing out loud is something that I like to do. But when it comes down to putting in the work, I shift and it needs to get fucking serious and get the job done. But so yeah, something I would like to do maybe in the near future. No, something I would like to do in the future. Yeah, I would like to propose father empowering as a brand recognized by my peers and by other as a place to be for a safe space, a
yeah,
place where, yes, if you work with Max, obviously you're going to achieve your desired objective of losing weight. Yes, if you go within father empowering, you're going to get the support from the other man within father empowering. This is what I'm working on right now. I want to get traction to my page. I want to make sure that as many people as possible know that I am there and I exist like on Instagram right now, only to help. I am basically there to help out the man in needs. And I got many conversation ongoing with fathers that are not even in my program that I just help them. This is what I do. It's a calling of mine. I
yeah.
think, I think it's in me to help out then.
Yeah, you're making some waves, man. The remarkable transformations I've seen of some of your clients, it's astounding. And the direction that you've gone, but what a fantastic mission that you're on to be able to coach these dads, because I think that's where a lot of young boys are struggling right now in the world. You know, as we were talking about on the pod before we shot this, men feeling purposeless, not feeling wanted, not feeling needed. They're having difficulty figuring out their place in the world. And this is where fatherhood is super important, is education and teaching our young boys and daughters, raising the next generation. What are some of the things that fathers should be doing with their children? You know,
This is a big, big fucking question. And I mean, who am I to have that great answer for every father who's going to listen to that podcast? Really? I mean, I'm going to have to answer that with an anecdote I have right now. Before my daughter birth, every father's around me told me this and that about fatherhood and this and that should do this and should do that. And once she was, once my wife gave birth, after that came the tremendous amount of proposition of you should do this and oh no, don't do that like this, do it like that. And I just literally said to every one of them, fuck you, I'm doing me. All right, I'm not going to read a book on parenting, I'm not going to read a book on being a good dad, I'm not reading any fucking book on childhood. I am going to do me. I'm just going to put all my love and effort doing the best I can as a man to raise that children of mine to the best ability I have. And if I need help, I'm going to ask for it. For now, I'm fucking good. Leave me the fuck alone. All right. So who am I to say to other fathers what to do to how to raise their kids? But if I would have to say something about that topic, I would say that just everything you do must come from your heart, and the emotion and the intention behind every action you're having with your children matter more than whatever you're going to do, actually. Right. So it has to come from the heart and out of love. Other than that, if it's just raw emotion, negativity, or frustration that you're putting out on your kids, even though if you think it's good for him, it's not good for him. If you're frustrating by the fact that he dropped the bowl of cereal and yell at him, if it's not coming out of love that you're going to explain to him that he doesn't need or it shouldn't happen because of X, Y, and Z, or be careful. If it doesn't come out of love, just shut the fuck up. So that's probably the only advice, if I may. It has
Yeah.
to come from the heart and out of love when it comes down to your children.
Yes. There's a video, Max. I don't know if you've seen this. The individual, the gentleman's name, his name is Jason Wilson. He's a very famous, he's a martial artist, but there was a video of him instructing a young boy to break a piece of wood. And the young boy was nervous. I think it was a grading. And the video was a very fucking powerful video because what Jason did to break it down for the boy to understand was he wasn't punching through. He had this mental block within his head. The grading was hard. You know, the boy started to cry, but you should have just, when you watch the video, man, it just speaks so much volume that, you know, there are going to be things in life that are going to be hard. They're going to be difficult. There's going to be the pain, the suffering, the arduous amount of hours, the failure, and all these things that are going to happen in life. Problem solving. Like I was with my niece and nephew, my brother's kids, and Harvey was just a little bit scared getting down. And I said, you climbed the same way up. Sorry, you climbed that way up. Climb exactly how you did on the way down. He was just a little bit scared, but I coached him through it. I didn't actually pick him up and put him on the ground,
That's
but
right.
we worked out a problem for him to come back down safely, and he did it. Because sometimes that helicopter parenting, there's a part of a parent that wants to, you know, run over and, you know,
Yeah.
pick the child up and put him on the ground. But there is a way that I think parents can sort of educate their kids through problem solving. And what are some of the problem solving tools that you have implemented or even started to educate your daughter? Because unfortunately, we're not going to be here forever. And she's going to have to fucking figure it out. She's going to have to figure it out for herself. But what are some of the tools that you've sort of implemented with your daughter?
Well, straightforward. First of all, the video you're talking about, the guy made a lot of videos like that. Like
Yeah,
point in time, he had a father and his son on his back doing push-ups. I don't know
that's
if you saw
right.
that one.
That's right.
Pretty good
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, my hat off to him. He's doing a fucking phenomenal job. But yeah, putting friction in the learning curve of your children is mandatory.
Mm.
And how I'm doing that is randomly. And my daughters hate it, but loves it at the same way because I'm not hiding it from her. I told her my job as your dad is to make it, I don't know to say, to phrase it in English as I phrase it in French. She speaks French, but basically I told her my job as a dad is to make you like fuck it up. You need to make mistake. And it's my job as a dad to make you make those mistakes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. So whenever she's coming back from school and we have homework, and she's got all that thing figured out, and that she knows what it is, this. I have a blackboard for her homework, and I'm putting up some fucking hard problems. And she said, I didn't learn that. Well, now you're gonna learn it. Why? Because I'm your dad. And here we go. And now she started. First time that couple first time that she started to cry and she didn't want to do it. But over time, she's just not resisting anymore. So yeah, put your kids through voluntary friction.
Yeah.
Do it. Just do it. They're going to cry. They're going to resist. Who gives a fuck? They're children. What are they going to do? You know? So I'm helping her this way and I'm letting her know that I'm doing it on purpose. That does two things. First thing, she recognized that I'm doing it on purpose. So on the first couple of more minutes, maybe she hates me for it. But as soon as she realized that she's able to do that math equation or like whatever homework or task that I'm giving her, like picking up lumbers and doing stuff around the house, I'm always making it hard for her. And she feel proud of herself of being able to do something that she knows I made hard for her. But because I think the thing that's important to remember here is she knows that I'm making it hard for her. So in her head, she thinks and she knows that I've made that hard. So by conquering the friction, the problem, the situation, she feel proud because I thought it was going to be hard for her. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly here, but by knowing that I was doing that on purpose, she feel more proud of herself
Mm.
because beat the problem that I've put in front of her.
Yeah, man. I really like the way you said that. That's really voluntary friction. And it's out of love, just going back to with my nephew, as much as I wanted to pick him up and put him on the ground, I
Yeah,
was
we
able to
tend to do that.
yeah, I was able to coach him through it. And these are some really important tools that I think, because as parents that might be listening, they naturally want to they don't ever want to see their child in pain, but understand that there are going to be challenges in life where you're not going to be around and they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. And if they learn the tools, they understand that belief, because kids do, they have limited belief, they're all curious about things, they learn through play, and I teach martial arts, I teach children, and there are times where I've had very small children say, I can't get out underneath such and such, they just keep smashing me and they keep doing the same arm bar or arm lock, and I say to them, I say, well, are you leaving your arm open? Maybe keep your arm in tight. What happened to our T-Rex arms? Tickle proof. I used to say to my kids, like when I teach kids classes, don't let me tickle you. I want you to keep your elbows in. What happens if your elbows out? I'm going to come and tickle you. So elbows need to be in tight. Let's hip escape. Let's work. And it's problem solving. It's coaching them through that. But I really like what you said, Max. In voluntary friction, it's creating problems out of love and then showing the child that they are capable of what they can imagine, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Yeah. So do you incorporate, like, maybe you take your daughter to the playground and she climbs up a little bit too high. Like an example like that I just used with my nephew, but like there are things like that you might sort of incorporate, not just in the playground or, whether it be learning how to cook or, what are some of the things that you would implement there?
Well, it's anything and everything, basically.
Mm.
From day to day life, usually what happens for me is I arrive from home, do my workouts and stuff like that. Then I go pick her up. And whatever she's feeling on that day, because we have bad days, they have bad days. So when your child having a bad day, if you're not able to sense that, first of all, you need to start paying attention to your kids because they have bad days too. And maybe they just don't want to do fucking nothing for about 30 minutes. Check that out if you're not aware of this. But when she's having a good day, what I'm usually doing is she's going to help me cook and I'm going to put her through some stuff that she doesn't know how to do. And now she's 10, all right? And I've been doing that for quite some time now. So whenever I'm starting to do something and she's looking at me like, doing that on purpose for real. And I'll say, yeah, of course I'm doing that on purpose. You don't know how to do it. Now you're going to know. So let's jump in together. So you see all those tantrums I had prior in the past turns out to be memorable moment and shareable moment with my daughter right now. But it's not always like that. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
When it's come to physical tasks, it's not the same thing. Like for instance, we go indoor climbing sometimes, and she gets high, but like she's in a bad spot, and I know that sometimes when you climb, you don't know how to climb down back because you don't really remember the foot movement you did to climb up there.
Yeah.
So that's a bit tricky. Sometimes I let it there and she just trying to figure it out. Sometimes it's getting too dangerous. You don't have to be dumb about it. It's always out of love, like I say. But yeah, it's pretty much in anything and everything. All right.
Yeah.
It could be like just you have to be consistent in what you're doing as a parent. I think that as creatures, human creatures, patterns, we like patterns a lot, like strong morning routines, say like the day go and choose strong evening routine, something that you can count on, makes you feel comfortable, even if there's an uncomfortable moment during the day. It makes you like the circadian rhythm kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to be consistent with your child, but just try to create friction.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that, Max. Creating friction, but you're doing it out of love. Yeah. And I think a lot of helicopter parenting, unfortunately, it has a little bit of a deleterious side to it. If you constantly coddle the child, they're not going to figure it out for themselves. They're not going to learn, what they're capable of doing. But I like that voluntary friction. Yeah. I think you're
Yeah.
onto something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been implementing that for years, and
Yeah.
I really. And first of all, it is a bit of a pleasure. As a parent, sometimes kids can be brats, and since it's going to be a win-win situation, because first of all, she's going to learn something, and she's going to evolve from that. I'm also pissing her off, so it's about like it's like a little revenge,
Yeah.
but out of love.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be a dick about it. Like now, yeah, that was me and my wife knowing that I was doing this sometimes on purpose. Because when she's being a big brat, sometimes the friction is a bit more frictionous,
Yes. Yes.
but it's always out of love. It's something that I really like to do, and it creates moment with my daughter, and obviously like playing chess. I never let my daughter won a single game, like never let her won, but she won at some point. She won. So imagine how proud she was on that day. You know, every time we're playing a game, it's full blown competition. And I tell her, I'm not letting you win that game tonight. Like it or love it, you're not winning tonight. And she said, oh yeah, we're on. And
Yeah.
here we go. It creates that, how you say that it's a competition.
Yeah. Max, always a pleasure to talk to you, man. And for a lot of fathers out there, I think, you are creating such a huge movement because, we need to raise the next generation of kids, and strong fathers is required. It's needed in the world today. But where can people find you, Max? And what have you got going on with father empowerment?
Well, it's Father Empowering.
Father
Uh,
empowering, sorry, mate.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, well, I'm on YouTube at Father Empowering and Instagram as well. It's at Father Empowering and Facebook as well. So, but basically, my main my headquarter is basically Instagram. Is where the most active to post, and recently on YouTube as well. I've been posting more regularly. It's always fun to post on YouTube. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, go on Instagram at Father Empowering and DM me anytime. I'm here to help. 100%, I'm here to help for real.
Amazing, mate. And what's one tip that you could share for fathers out there? What would you suggest that they can do to live a more fulfilling life, but be present with their children?
Well, start small, start doing something that you love and be aware of what you eat. This is so fucking important, all right? Start by looking at what you eat. By the way, I made a nutritional guide. I give it for free. It's I've depicted everything you need to know about nutrition to start off your journey step by step. It's all there. It's called Fuel for Life. Uh, DM me on Instagram, and I'll send a copy to anyone out there who needs to understand the basic function of proper nutrition. So
Yeah.
yeah, start small, start doing stuff that you love and enjoy. Even though if in the beginning it might feel a bit hard, like we talked about, all right, voluntary friction, it's always good. You're gonna find down the line what you really love. All right, so start small, find something you love, try and error, make sure you eat properly, and from that moment out, everything's going to just fall into place.
Mm. Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast for another day. Hey, is nutrition and what
Oh
people
my
can
god.
eat. I mean, yeah, and what a wealth of knowledge you have too, Max. Outstanding, man, and it's phenomenal just always to sit down and chat with you. I'm heading to the gym right now, man. You've pumped me up. You've motivated me to fucking
Go
have a good
for it.
hard session, man. Yeah, so it's always
Oh
good to
yeah.
chat to you. Powerful conversations that I always have with you, man. So I appreciate your time. But yeah, hopefully one day, man, we'll be able to sort of meet up in person.
Yeah, I'm looking forward maybe to going to Europe maybe next summer, so meet me halfway.
100%, man. Yeah, well, my missus and I were thinking about going to Europe next year, actually.
All
Yeah,
right.
so she's from Switzerland, so we'll go back and visit her hometown. But yeah, 100%, man. We'll make it work.
All right, man, that would be fucking phenomenal for real. Just do a
Yeah.
brutal workout,
Definitely.
Just an entire day of real men being men type of thing, you know, just
Yes. Yeah.
pushing
Oh,
ourselves through.
I think I'd have a hard time keeping up with you on the ultra marathons, though. I haven't done an ultra marathon before.
Well, I'm not going to be a pain in the ass for that, but if we're in Switzerland, of course I'm going to go for a run. I heard that
Okay. All
the
right.
trail
All right.
back there are fucking awesome. Like there's the
Yeah.
UTB coming up, by the way, the Ultra Tour du Mont Blanc in Chamonix. It's coming up. I think it's this weekend, actually.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
This is like the holy grail of ultra running.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that would, yeah. Well, I hope you have a fucking phenomenal workout, James. Thanks a lot for having me, for real. And we're talking about nutrition, by the way. My latest YouTube is about nutrition as well. I really dive deep into what you need to understand to start
Mm.
eating properly and counting your macros and calories and stuff like that. So if
Yeah.
you
Is there a link in your bio on your Instagram?
Yep, but right now the link in my bio goes directly to that video because I think that this is the one that gives the most value for father to start their journey for now. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
right in there in my bio at Father Empowering on Instagram.
Amazing, man. People go check that out. I'm going to be checking that out for sure.
Yeah, you will. We'll do. Maybe you're gonna learn a thing or two. I really dove deep into the nutrition section. It's really important for people to understand
Yeah.
that what you're putting in your body really like fueled you for real.
Yeah. Amazing, Max. Thank you, mate.
You take care, James. Have a great one.